Ever wondered how a mere concept turns into a tangible object through 3D printing? Welcome, my friends, to the intriguing world of 3D printing, a realm where ideas transform into reality, quite literally at the click of a button. Over the past few years, 3D printing has gained immense popularity, and it's not just a trend, it's a revolution. From creating intricate jewelry designs to manufacturing automotive parts, to producing custom prosthetics, the possibilities with this technology are as limitless as your imagination. 3D printing is not just changing the way we produce things, but also how we perceive the world of manufacturing. It's a fascinating journey from a virtual design to a physical product, a journey that's as captivating as it is transformative. So, are you ready to delve deeper into the captivating process of 3D printing? 3D printing, as complex as it may seem, can be broken down into simple steps. First and foremost, everything starts with a digital design or a 3D model of the object you want to print. This is the blueprint, the guide that your 3D printer will follow to the letter. Creating this model can be done in various ways. Some prefer to use 3D scanning technology to create a digital twin of an existing object. Others might opt for professional CAD software to build their models from scratch. And for those less artistically inclined, there's a wealth of pre-made models available online, ready to download and print. But it's not just about creating or finding a design. It's about creating or finding the right design. You see, precision and detail are paramount at this stage. If your design is off even just a little, it could mean the difference between a successful print and a plastic spaghetti monster. So take your time. Make sure every dimension, every curve, every detail is just right. And while we're on the subject of details, let's not forget about scale. You could design the most intricate Eiffel Tower model, but if it's too big for your printer's build volume, well, you're going to have a bad time. So always keep your printer's capabilities in mind when creating or choosing your model. It's also worth noting that not all 3D models are printable. They need to be watertight, meaning they can't have any holes, gaps, or overlaps in the mesh that makes up the design. These can cause the printer to misinterpret the design, leading to printing errors. So always check your model for these issues before moving on. And there you have it. The initial stage of the 3D printing process, creating the perfect 3D model. It might seem daunting, especially if you're new to this, but don't worry. With a bit of practice and patience, you'll be creating impressive models in no time. With the perfect 3D model ready, we are all set to move on to the next stage. Once our 3D model is ready, it's time for it to go through the slicing phase. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is this slicing phase? Picture your 3D model as a big loaf of bread. Just as you'd slice bread into individual pieces, the slicing phase slices up your 3D model into hundreds, sometimes thousands of horizontal layers. Each slice represents a single layer that the 3D printer will eventually create, layer by layer, to bring your model to life. This is a fascinating process. It takes our complex three-dimensional model and breaks it down into manageable two-dimensional layers. Each layer is a cross-section of your model at a particular height. This is why the slicing phase is so important. It's essentially a roadmap for your 3D printer, telling it exactly where to deposit material at each layer. Now, how does the 3D printer read these slices? Well, the slicing software converts each layer into a series of movements. These movements are then encoded into a language that the 3D printer understands, a language known as G-code. The G-code instructs the printer where to move, how fast to move, and when to extrude material. It's worth noting that different slicing software may offer different features and capabilities. Some allow for manual adjustment of slicing settings, giving you greater control over the thickness of each layer, the speed of the print, and more. Others may automate this process entirely, making it easier for beginners to get started. So when you're getting into 3D printing, take some time to understand the slicing software you're using, learn about its features, and how to use them effectively. Remember, the better the slicing, the better the final print. Slicing is a crucial step that prepares our model for the actual printing process. It's like the pre-flight check for a pilot. It ensures everything is in order, ready for the journey ahead. With a well-sliced model, we're all set to move on to the magic of printing. Now comes the moment of truth, the actual 3D printing. This is where our digital blueprint comes to life, materializing into a tangible object, layer by layer. Picture it as constructing a skyscraper, but instead of cement and steel, we use plastic or other materials, and instead of human labor, we have the precision of a machine. The 3D printer reads the slice data, the digital blueprint we've created. Each slice represents a cross-section of the object we're printing. From bottom to top, the printer lays down successive layers of material, each one adhering to the one below. It's like stacking ultra-thin slices of bread to form a loaf. But in this case, our loaf is whatever shape our blueprint dictates. Now you might wonder, what kind of materials are we talking about here? The most common one is plastic, but not just any plastic. We use a special kind called thermoplastic. When heated, it becomes soft and moldable, and when it cools, it hardens and retains its shape. This property makes it perfect for 3D printing, but it doesn't stop at plastic. We can also use metal, ceramic, and even a blend of materials. Each material has its unique properties and applications. Metals, for instance, are used when we need something robust and durable, like parts for machines or even jewelry. Ceramics, on the other hand, are great for creating intricate designs due to their fine detailing capability. The choice of material depends on the purpose of the printed object. Are we creating a prototype for a new product? Are we producing a personalized piece of art? Or perhaps we're making a spare part for a machine? The possibilities are as boundless as our imagination. So, the 3D printer diligently follows the blueprint, laying down layer after layer, slowly but surely creating our object. It's a meticulous process requiring both precision and patience, but the reward is worth it. And voila, our concept has taken a physical form. 3D printing is indeed a fascinating process, isn't it? It's like watching magic unfold before your eyes as your ideas transform from mere digital concepts into tangible realities. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. We started with the creation of a digital design, a process that allows us to bring our wildest imaginations to life. With the help of software, we shape and mold our ideas into three-dimensional models, ready for the next step. Then, we moved on to the slicing phase, where our 3D models are dissected into thin layers. This slicing is essential because it breaks down the design into manageable pieces that the printer can understand. It's like giving the printer a roadmap, guiding it on where to deposit material layer by layer to build our design. Next, we delved into the actual printing process, where the magic truly happens. The printer follows the roadmap we've created, depositing material layer upon layer, slowly building our design from the ground up. It's a mesmerizing process, watching your ideas come to life, one layer at a time. And let's not forget the role of different materials. Whether it's plastic, metal, or even chocolate, each material brings unique properties and potential to our designs. The choice of material can be the difference between a good print and a great one. But this is just the beginning. The potential and future of 3D printing are limitless. It's not just about creating fun and interesting objects, it's about revolutionizing industries, from medicine to construction and everything in between. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and bringing our wildest dreams to life. Remember, the world of 3D printing is only limited by your imagination, so what will you create?